Another dollar.
Come on. Cowboys land.
Yeah.
The final word.
Like Big Daddy Kane said, another victory.
3-1, baby. Feel good.
And people think we mad. That's the weirdest thing.
Ain't nothing to be mad at when you winning games you're supposed to win.
Facts. I gotta give you one of those facts bombs over here.
The final
I'll take
word.
that. I appreciate
I got you.
the final word.
People that
The
don't
final word.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Dracarys.
The final word.
Burn them up.
The final word.
The final word.
Man, that just.
Shout out to everybody. Get up in the building.
They jumping on in
know
here
why,
too. Share it.
That just beat make me feel so cool.
The final
I get
word.
cool just
The
listening
final
to that beat. I
word.
just feel cool.
The final word.
The final word.
Let's go.
The final word.
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 Let's go.
Get it. Shout out to you, Williams. Jermetta, appreciate you. Sadiq, appreciate you.
Shout out to everybody in the
final
building,
word.
baby. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
Share
Dale
it.
Hayes, T Smooth, Blue Thane, B Rob, David Jenkins, what's good with you, dog? Coles Cowboys in the building.
Shout out to you. Brandon Ross.
Bippy AC. T Smooth TV.
Jamison Taylor.
The final
Andy
word.
Johnson, let's get it.
Tupac, appreciate you. D.A. Lee. Gina. You got them all over here. Hit them up, baby.
The final word.
The final word. Game 4 reactions and game
The final
5
word.
preparations. Let's go, man.
Gang, 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 gang.
Mama said there'll be days just like this. Come on.
Why are people scared
That
of the
Kool-Aid,
Rams?
ain't nobody scared of Rams. I made the tweet said I ain't scared of y'all.
You know I got that too, bro.
The final word.
Got
My
that
dog
final
Wink said,
word.
hey, boss, my dog Wink said you say that about every team.
The
Right,
final
I do,
word.
because I ain't scared of y'all.
The final word.
The final
word.
Wink was like,
The
you say that about every
final
team.
word.
Yeah, yeah.
Final word.
First, I ain't got to play y'all. I ain't playing.
Thurston, my dog, my country grandma.
Let's go, man. All right,
Everybody's
man.
here again.
Let's start the
The
show.
final
So
word.
my dogs. My dogs.
$5 super chat already. Man. That's what I'm talking about.
$5 holler already. coming. Throw them hollers out if you like. Throw them
That's it.
birthdays around the corner.
Uh-oh,
Birthdays
birthday
around the
time,
corner.
huh?
Birthdays around the corner. The only one time you're 50, only one time you're the 5-0. I'll take donations today. Donation, donation, donation.
Come on.
I've been really in the field. Wish I love the field lately. I just wanna
Run it up.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have a ticket to a meal lately. I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song.
D.A. Lee.
I just wanna run it
I
up.
love weed. Appreciate both of y'all.
Count that too, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives, need them tens.
Boss
I
say
need that
BJ.
change to the six. Got blues
BGJ, what up?
inside.
Come on.
What up, what up, what up?
It's all the same. I still say and roll my change. Take some
Like you
losses
said,
when I
BGL,
play.
big
Charge it
game
to the
law,
game.
baby.
I'm with LA, I'm with
Law
T-Mac,
boss,
I'm with
law
Raven
big
now.
boss. You know how
I'm
it go.
with Ray, I'm with Jay, I'm with Chuck and now.
Come on.
Still the
What's
same.
good,
I
chat?
switch sides,
What's
bro.
up?
It's about loyalty.
About loyalty,
You
baby.
switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth
Right.
more to me. I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf, and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Yeah, let's run it up, man. Let's go.
Let's run it up.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Let's do it, baby.
All right, so let's go. So first, obviously, man, Big, we gonna kick it off with you. Let me go to your tweet real quick, cause you laid it out, just out the gate. All right, so hold on real quick. Let me see how I'm gonna do this.
All right.
Shout out to Judge, man, for getting 500 million. I heard. Shout out to him, whatever.
Yeah, shout out to Judge for that 500 mil.
Million.
So here you go, Big.
62 hunters. Yeah. Oh, we hitting it hard. Yeah, let's get it.
Let's go.
Oh,
Daisy
you
Clark
going
with the
there,
super
huh,
chat.
Big Game
Appreciate the super chat, Daisy.
Appreciate the super chat, Rev.
Let's
But how we going? You want me to just read it off, or you want me to
Man.
read it and go with it?
Let's go. Read
All
it.
right. So basically, after that game or during the game, I was making a lot of comments about the run game. Antonio Gibson was going kind of crazy in the very beginning. He was averaging like 6 yards a carry. They had 102 yards in the first half, 14 rushes for 102 yards in the first half. I think they were averaging like 8 yards a carry. I was getting frustrated. After the game was over, I went and checked up some things, and it says right here, Dallas is currently ranks 27th in rushing yards giving up with 550, and is 25th, with 5.0 rushing average given up. They gave up 142 yards on the ground with a 5.3 average. I said that could be Achilles' heel at the beginning of the year, something to keep an eye on going forward. Now, talking with Boss, remember we talked about this, Boss. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the year. I said Dallas gave up over I think it was like about 113 yards a game last year rushing. Toward the end of the year, you started seeing some things happening as far as some chinks in the armor with that, and teams were starting to be able to run the ball against Dallas. And we saw, I don't know if a blueprint, but Denver really started that when they got that 200-yard rushing game, right? So that really started the ball in motion. But some things that we had already talked about, Boston, you were going hard on this, and I was already talking about we had already been talking about it, but you were going hard on the Boston. I was feeling you. I was feeling it was like we were doing mind telepathy because when you look at that, rushing average, the yards in that game, in this game in particular, LVE, when Boss was going ham on LVE, he had a lot of reason to say it because, once again, it's the same situation that we're dealing with LVE, okay? We understand that we got Michael Parsons at linebacker, right? But if you look at it in that game, he led the team in pass rushing snaps. He had 21 pass rushing snaps. Every game, he is one of the top players in pass rushing snaps. So, obviously, that's telling you they like playing him on the edge, right? You got Anthony Barr there who's still getting familiar with the system. So LVE's got to be a main guy when you're not giving Jabril Cox or anybody else some tick, right? So he's got to be out there to make tackles. He's got to make effective tackles. He's got to make tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's got to play like a middle backer. He's got to do those things. And too many times he's doing the same thing that he started plaguing him at the end of 2019, 2020. When he comes into that hole, he's still hesitating. He's still second guessing. He's guessing wrong hole. He's getting stoned at the point of attack. These things we saw when he was in college, right? That one great year he had, but ever since then, those warts that he showed in college are showing again. And I think those are one of the reasons. And if you look in that game in particular against Washington, some of the biggest runs that they had in that game was due to LVE hesitating on the move. He's not going through the trash. How many times do we see Sean Lee, if we're going to talk about a linebacker who was getting 19 tackles in a game? He was beating the man to the hole, right, boss?
Going nutty. Would you say
he was
nutty?
You feel me? Going nutty. Ball and loss. Wasn't Sean Lee beating the man to the hole? Wasn't he already diagnosing the play? Wasn't that what we really loved about him? You don't see that from an LVE. What you see is him engaging into the offensive lineman stoning him and moving him out the way, or he just playing pity pat with him and the guy's running through the line of scrimmage, or he's waiting, or he doesn't come hard enough. And I personally think, and I'm gonna jump off of this and you guys can go from there, but I personally think, we know about the neck injury. Me and Boss were talking about it way before, and then 2019 he had the neck injury again, and me and Boss had talked about it. We don't like a linebacker with a neck injury, and ever since then, to me, he's been tentative. And if you watch how he plays tentative. He does not play with a reckless abandon any longer that he played with when he kind of came in the league. He was playing with a reckless abandon. He is not playing like that. He is playing like he does not want to get hurt, in my opinion, because if you're playing a reckless abandon as a linebacker, you're going to have contact. And it's like when he hits that contact, he's engaging with the guy, but that's all it is. And I think that's one of the reasons why this run defense is giving up like it is, because LVE is a bad factor of it. I made a video about it. Check it out later on. Just saying.
Yeah, man, my boy go hard, man.
Man, as president, owner, and founder of the of the Kool-Aid community.
Wait. Whoa.
And you said it last week, Law.
Start, Law.
Do something about him.
LVE.
No,
is
Law.
Say
Come on,
something
not-
about him. Go ahead, Law. Get him. Law
today,
said something
Law.
about him last
Not
week.
today,
Him and Jay Lou.
Law, no.
And then Blaine got in the game.
Right.
Do it to him, Law.
Two guys on this team that I've been trying to get rid of on the defensive side is LVE and Jordan Lewis. We seen Jordan Lewis get gone due to injuries, and Dayron Bland came in and he wasn't playing Bland. Now, here's the thing with LVE. The hardest thing to decipher will be if you can remove the politics from the Jones family. Because when you look back at the tape, you'll say, hey, man, this dude is not shooting, right? Hook to flat. He's not getting there. He's just a tick late, like what you said, Big Game James, and that is a major problem. But on the stat sheet, you will see, okay, he was third in tackles, blah, 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 blah. But when you look again at the stat sheet, you will see that your safeties had more tackles than him. And from my understanding, Big Game James and Boss, the safeties are deeper or further back than he is. And they got more tackles than LVE, who's supposed to be the guy that can get to the edge, seal off things, and put his nose deep down in there. And there's too many times that he make business decisions. But I come here to tell y'all beautiful people that LVE is on borrowed time, because now it's 21 days out before we see Damon Clark. Now, I'm not saying that the Cowboys are rushing Damon Clark, but baby, somebody is knocking at the door, and he's from LSU, and he is a guy that can go to hook to flat, that can fill in. And when we was out there in Oxnard, we seen 33. What number is he now? Is he still 33? I don't even know what number he is, for crying out loud. But we saw him on the sideline working with Michael Gallup and getting his body and all of his mechanics together. So this should be the move. Now, granted, there will be growing pains. There will be things that we will still have to wait and see. But I'm already looking at it that the Jones family, who view the bloodline of the Cowboys is via the draft and developing their own. That's why they didn't spend any money on Roquan Smith that was out there that had been rumored and linked to the Cowboys. Man, don't y'all know that if we didn't have Damon Clark or Jabril Cox, and if that whole thing about Roquan Smith being linked to the Cowboys, don't you know, if the Cowboys really want to shore up this defense, they should make that trade. But they don't believe in that. They believe in developing their own, and they looking at Damon Clark as a baby Roquan Smith. He can be that type of player. That's my thoughts.
I like it. And I just love it because we didn't talk about none of this, but everything that y'all talking about, obviously, I got ready because obviously we on the same page on this.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out a little bit to LVE. A shout out just a little bit because obviously, no, this is not the right film session. Y'all give me 1 second. It's this one. It's this one, you know, because he getting a lot of credit for this sack. You know, he getting the credit for that sack, and, you know, credit to him because the center picked him up. That's a mental lap by the center that caused Neville to come free, and the guard didn't pick him up. Right?
Yep.
So I do see, you know,
No, you don't.
serviceable. Now, just hear me out, dude. Serviceable.
Hey,
but see,
can you go
I
back
want
to
y'all-
that play? And you will see that also Parsons, he took away Carson Wentz read on the tight end that's hot, and then my guy 42, he took away the other read. So it was nowhere he can go. That was all scheme sack. When somebody, I ain't going to say the name, when somebody said that LVE was very pivotal in that down. You could have put me right there, and they would have been the same result when you got Big
Right.
96. But go ahead.
Now, I'm loving the analysis because it's just honest. You know what I'm saying? And see, this is the point I was getting ready to make. When you saying serviceable with Dan Quinn and that defensive tackle room, that is frankly not good enough. All right? It's not that he's just so bad, but the question is, can we do better? Right? And then I want to see you be consistent. Because I said this about Stephen Jones. Stephen has been saying the young guys need a chance.
Right.
I guess that applies to all those positions but middle linebacker. Big. Law. When do we go, even before Clark, see these guys get a tick at that middle linebacker? Shouldn't we at least see that? What about even Malik Jefferson, right? Like, we want to see some other people, like while it's early in the season, while we got a lead, while we looking competitive, because big, what you pointed out, is big. Because, you know, we can rest on our laurels. We can start being like, oh, the defense is good. It's good. What you complaining about, big boss law? Shut up. Come on, be happy. But now it's other parts that can improve. And if you can improve it and you trying to win a Super Bowl even in 2023, 2022, I know you don't think we ain't going to win it, but we still should be going for it. If we going for it, why don't those guys get some tick?
Man.
Especially because they're young. Because, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, Law. But especially because they're young. I mean, if they're going by this youth movement thing, we know LVE is young, but he's on a 1-year deal, right? That's the key. He's on a 1-year deal. He's not on a 5-year deal. He's not on a 3-year deal. He's on a 1-year deal, meaning he's not going to be back there next year. They're going to have Cox. They're going to have Damon Clark. Like you said, they got Harper already right now. Malik Jefferson is in there. And you have been raving about Harper, boss yourself. And, you know, I really got hyped up to him really in the preseason when I was watching how physical of a nature he played and how he was stoning the players and how he didn't care about his body. He was just coming in there, blowing up the lineman and the backer. And that's what you were getting excited about. And we're just not seeing that. And just like you said, if you're trying to do this thing, and especially with this youth movement and get these young players on the field, why wouldn't you do that? You can't sit. Are you keeping LV on there? Not just because we know you are a favorite son, but is it because does he know the defense? You scared to put the rookie? You got Jabril Cox in there who y'all had high marks. I'm just trying to figure that out. Is it the favoritism thing going on from the front office? Because I don't understand why he continues to get the high amount of snap counts, and you got other guys that I know could be more physical in that run game, especially because you need those backers, right? Because as I said before, Mike is not playing that backer, that traditional backer where he's sitting in the middle of the field and watching these running backs go. They are rushing him. They are moving him all around. They're trying to find the best matchups. So they want to keep him free. So those other backers got to step up and make those plays in the run game, because a lot of times Michael Parsons might be on that backside, right? So front side, the backers got to make those plays.
Man, you spitting now, big game, James. You spitting earlier. But we look at the tendencies of the Jones family, and they are hit and miss on a lot of these things. They say, hey, it's team youth. I recall, and I know this was a different position, but who remember Xavier Woods? He was a guy that they said, okay, we don't need an Earl Thomas. We don't need a D Honey Badger because we got that out of Xavier Woods. And then it got down to the contract year. Xavier Woods, in his mind, he said, I'm trying to survive. I'm not going to play 100% of the time because I might get hurt. And now we're seeing Xavier Woods shine at the Minnesota, wherever team he's on now. But that's the problem when you lean on your youth. You try to develop them, and then when it's time to pay them, you put them on that short leash, and then all of a sudden this type of thing happened. And now I'm not saying that LVE is that guy, but the problem is with that concept if you don't move off from LVE now and insert a guy like a Harper or a guy, now I get it, Damon Clark, he's still got to get out there, or Jabril Cox, but this is a failed problem with the Dallas Cowboys. But on the flip side, they can bang on the table and say, well, why are you not saying that about Noah Brown? Why are you not saying about the ones that we hit on? Why are you not saying, you see how it goes now? You know, why are you not saying about our version of Cooper Rush? The list is a long list of guys that they kind of developed or helped go along the way, whereas we were all saying that they should get rid of. And now look what happened.
So my next question, since we kind of talking about linebacker, is what about Clark, right? So with this news on Clark, digging into Clark, Todd Archer came out about 2 hours ago. He said, look for the Cowboys to open the practice window for rookie linebacker Damon Clark, who has been on a non-football injury list because of a neck injury, as soon as Wednesday. Once he start practice, Cowboys have 21 days before needing to add him to the 53-man roster to keep him on NFL for season. And I was saying that he could play this year based on what they was rolling out. So I wanted to get y'all thoughts on that. And then let's kind of talk about Clark. Because, see, to me, Clark, in my opinion, could force the competition. Because you might be trying to be a little bit soft, right? And then Tyrone Church also raised the point. He said, could it be that LVE is the green dot person until Kurtz get back, so they running with him with all them snaps? But yeah, you ain't giving Harp the tick. You're not giving Cox the tick. But with Clark, to me, you got to start doing something.
You got to. Let me ask you this, boss. Who will be your sacrificial lamb then, if that's the case? You got 53. Who you going to cut? Because he said they got to add him to the 53 if he's going to play. Because they didn't have any hesitation of cutting a starter last year to elevate Jabril Cox into the mix or get him more tick time. You remember that last year? There was a guy that liked to swipe. He was a starter.
Yeah, man. I didn't even look at the bottom of the roster, to be honest, man. So
you asked me. Because Izzy made some plays the other day, and Dayron came in and made some plays. You know, so our roster is loaded with some depth guys.
So would you cut? Would you cut Gifford? But he's a special teams guy. They like him in the special teams.
Cut him. Cut him. That's the one, Big. Thank you.
Gifford.
It'll be Gifford.
There you go. That's him. Yeah, you cut him. Yeah. And you cut him for Harper. That's who you cut him for, because he was a special teams demon at Oklahoma State.
Yep.
So he got low tread on his tires to be playing linebacker because he was mostly special teams. And I know you know that, Big. You're a draft head. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So to me, you move
Talk
on.
about him though, right quick, boss.
Go for it. It's on you, big dog.
Well, let's talk about Damon Clark, because I ain't gonna lie, I was excited. Now, remember when they drafted, because remember, Boss was calling Damon Clark. It was like the later rounds, and we were having our draft day, and you said this is the time we should go after Damon Clark, and I'm like, oh, I want him bad. This be great, but I'm scared about that neck.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I'm worried about that neck. But from all accounts, this is not one of those crazy neck injuries that we hear of. This was something like kind of totally different from that. Yeah. So you felt better. But when we were talking in the draft, boss, shout out to my guy Jay Lombardi. When we were talking about the draft, he put me on to Damon Clark. We knew about him because he had played with Jabril Cox, but he had put me on to him. And when I really watched him in that Senior Bowl, he looked really good, really physical. But then when you really look at the tape, the thing you really love about him, he was one of the leaders on that defense, like leader. He got, he had the number that you can wear, like for LSU being one of the top leaders in the
18.
school. Yeah, and you get that because like you are like one of the top leaders. They only give it to certain people, right? And if you just watch him play, man, he's all over the field. He's aggressive. He's physical. That's the biggest thing. He's physical and he's a leader. So when you're talking about the green dot, right? Eventually, when you are the thing that maybe they were looking at with him was that leadership quality that he can make the calls. Okay, so maybe that could be something that they could do something down the line. But somebody's got to get in there right now, dog.
Somebody
somebody's got to get in there right now.
Hey, boss,
So,
check
why
your
we gonna
DM
wait?
on
I mean, why
Twitter,
we gonna
man, 'cause
play
I
the
just
game?
sent you something. I just sent you that little illustration chart. See if you can pull it up so it give people a visual of what we talking about out of Clark or what have you.
Gotcha.
Yes, indeed. So, man, if we looking for speed, man, we're looking for somebody. And I get it, like neck injuries and things like that. Not saying that will probably hinder the way he hit. But, man, y'all, I encourage you to pull up LSU tape and just see this man fly around. And he can get sacks, man. He can get upfield.
He never gives up.
He never gives up.
He plays hard.
Oh my gosh, man! And they when we saw him out there in training camp, I was like, all right, he's moving around. And look, and I'm not making this a versus battle, but I am. But you know, it's 78 total tackles, 135 total tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss. Look, I don't even have it in front of me, but I promise you, it probably take 2 or 3 years for me to find how many tackles for loss LVE got throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? And 5.5 sacks. Look, this dude coming from every angle on the linebacker field, he can do just that. Clark is that dude, ladies and gentlemen, that can really be the super glue to this defense, that final piece to really push this defense in the right direction. And we're not that far off. And for those who try to compare Barr, what he do, Barr been solid. Barr, even if he's making a mistake, we see him hustle. We see him get there. We see him clogging up the passing lane. Barr game is a whole lot different than what LVE been doing out there. But go ahead.
Right.
No, man, I'm loving it.
You be preaching, Law. I mean, that's the
going.
truth. What you speaking. Barr is least physical in there. That's the thing that I'm watching in this tape. He's at least sticking his nose in there, and he's not hesitating to the play. He's going in there and he's throwing his body in there. He's been laying some wood because that last game against the Giants, he laid some wood and played good in that Bengals game. So you see what he's doing. He's coming along. He just got with the team. It's not like he signed with the team early, right? He came with the team late. So he's just really getting acclimated, still getting familiar with Dan Quinn and what they're trying to do. But like you said, Law, we feel good about what Anthony Barr is doing. He's been solid. But you need that other backer to come in there and make an impact on tackles. That's what we're talking about when they're talking about drafting a linebacker, right, Law and Boss, in that first round? A guy who can make plays all the way around the field, who can free up Micah Parsons to let him be able to do his thing, and a guy who could be a tackling machine. That's what they wanted. So this is the guy that could be, because it's not LVE any longer. He had the rookie year. It's just time to go. And if you got to hit the bench to make other things happen, what are you waiting for? Because they got all these other young guys out there playing crazy.
Right. And this is the last thing I'm going to say on it, man. I'm even cool with crawling before we walk. You feel me? Like, just give them dudes some I want to see it. Can we at least see it?
Gosh.
Because this is the thing. You giving the guards the tick. You got Peters out there. And instead of saying, all right, we go rock with Peters because he the vet, y'all saying, no, we go give our young guys some tick. Fournier getting tick. McGovern getting tick. Come on now. You got who was considered one of the steals of the draft in Cox. You got a tackling machine in Harper, man. We just want to see it, you know? And then when Harper get there, we want to see it. I'm just being honest, man. I like the young guy movement. Just do it across the board. Don't just do it for some of the guys. Just keeping it real. All right, another thing, man, on some positive stuff that's real positive, obviously, you know, because we talking about the Giants and all that kind of, not the Giants, the Washington Commanders, because we promise you, according to the thumbnail, that we go do Game 4 reactions. But obviously something to react to that I think is a real good reaction is a positive from you, Law, where you talked about that it's people that's trying to divide the nation, basically, you know?
Right.
Talking about Dak apologists are mad, Rush is having success, you know? And what you said is so dead on. Like, Dak apologists are mad at Rush. Now, I see people all around happy. Talk about that, Law.
Yeah.
And just the good thing that's going on. And we go kind of ride the Rush train on some positivity, if you don't mind.
No doubt, man. I think that Cooper Rush, man, stepped right on in, stood tall. He is right now the person that's selling the ship, and he's doing a wonderful job of taking command of this team. Mike McCarthy said that he's not a game manager, but it's easier to manage the game when the opposing teams can't score over 20 points. Since he's been the quarterback all 4 games, if you do your research, none of the teams scored over 20 points. The defense stepped up. They know what to do. And what he does is here's what I got to tell people. I'm position myself because I always got to do
measuring this Kool-Aid. I like this.
Measured Kool-Aid because I
boy,
get
that
this
boy
all the
long.
time. They
Measure
say,
this dog.
man, at least Cooper Rush throws it deep. And then I returned and asked the people, the ball that he threw deep, was it cover 2? Was it quarters defense? How many people were in the backfield? Was it 7, 8 dropping back? And then they pause and they say, nah, it wasn't that, right? Because we running the ball now, it dictates what the defense do on the opposing side, whether or not we get 80 yards, 100 yards, or 5 yards. The attempts, the balanced approach, that ability, ladies and gentlemen, create the cushion, the soft one-on-one reads onto the outside. And we are getting those favorable looks that I think that Cooper Rush can do. They erased the comeback routes. They took out majority of the button hook routes. We don't see those stick routes on the edge. We're seeing drags underneath. We're seeing more vertical looks as well. I love it. And one thing that I can tell you as a caveat for Cooper Rush, that dude can throw that fade ball right around. He throw that fade ball.
He can throw that fade, big dog.
I just
know
mad
about
Noah
the
Brown.
fade
Noah
ball.
Noah
I think he
Brown,
throws
he looked
good
the wrong
plays.
way. You know,
I think
I would say
I'd say his inside routes, man, he don't throw good outside them numbers.
outside the
'Cause he don't
numbers,
got
I
an
give you
arm.
that. That's why. Do you see him throwing?
But he
the
throw
hooks?
that post. Everything
come back.
inside, I love him. I'm cool with Rush on the
But see,
inside.
here,
Do your thing.
Hey.
But
Yeah.
hey, that's minutia. That's getting into the weeds. Your overall point, I feel you.
Yeah, you feel me, right? You
Right,
run,
yeah.
you run to open up
We
the
get
pass.
into the details.
Look.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you go watch last night game, the 49ers versus the LA Rams.
Right.
I think that Cooper can do everything that Jimmy Garoppolo did in that game. They only threw for 27 times. I think that Cooper
I
can give
agree.
you that same type of game.
Yep.
And our defense, and I saw you
Well
flash
said.
that up there. I know my brother watching. My Cowboys defense is better than those 49ers defense. I don't care what he say. Look, I think we can play a better brand and caliber of defense. So
I like that, man. I'm like that too, man. I'm messy.
Yeah.
And then Big Game James on his Twitter, he say he gets it. Talk about that, Big. You know what I'm saying?
Can you still hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Cooper gets it. I mean, and the thing I like about him, he ain't trying to be like, oh yeah, this and that. I've been doing this, and I looked up. He understanding who he is. I'm the backup. Let's give credit to his defense because that's what's been keeping us the game. Now, I've been listening to what y'all said with the Cooper Rush thing, and I love it too. He's been doing great. He's been decisive with his throws. He throws. I think the biggest thing as far as the fade and the post, I think he throws a catchable ball.
Yeah.
He throws a soft catchable
Soft
ball.
ball.
Well
So
said.
that makes it easier for the. You know
Well
what I mean?
said.
It just throws it right there, and it's a soft ball, and it's a easy, pass to catch. So that's the good thing, but. I think the thing that we also need to understand is, those people that are going back and forth, that's just kind of weird to me because if you watch that, we got bailed out by 2 interceptions in that game again. Like there was 2 interceptions in that game. Washington intercepted it twice. But thank God they did dumb penalties and they got taken away. So it hasn't been perfect, but it's what it's been supposed to be. Defense, ball control. I've been screaming 30-30 club, fellas, and that's what it's almost been. It was that. A week ago against the Giants, it was 30 rushes, 31 passes. This week, it was 27 passes and 29 rushes. So The 30-30 club is good. You get
Yeah.
around them 30 rushes, them 30 passes with Cooper Rush. That's a formula of success for him because you don't want him throwing the ball everywhere because then that's when his warts can be exposed. Keep that good running game, figuring it out, and I think we'll be okay.
Momentum is everything, man. Let's go.
But boss called out Kellen on a few things, so I ain't want to go hard on that run game because I know boss. That's why boss said.
That's why I savored some.
That's why
of
boss
it.
said. That's why he said. That's why boss said.
I want boss to get in on that, man. Get in on that, man.
Yeah, he about to get on that.
Oh man, you know I got that already. I got that
They
already.
ain't want to take all the counterpoints away.
I
No,
didn't want to go hard. I was like, rushes, but I was like, boss sitting right there in the cut. When I talk about them rushing the ball, he gonna be like, yeah, they ran the ball, but damn it, you saw it.
Yes, indeed, man.
Man, I'm gonna finish Cooper Rush, but you know I got that up in there. You know we gonna talk about that, bro. I got that up in here.
Do.
All right,
I know you do.
But real quick, man, we got the OC in the building. OC, I'm gonna need you to kind of do this film session real quick as I feed you in the show. You know how we gonna do. We gonna make it work.
What's up, OC?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing, man? Alright,
The film breakdown.
All right, so
All right, guys. So let's take a look. All right, and so look at this. Nice play action pass, nice completion, right? And so what you notice here is that everything was predicated on them trying to anticipate run and sucking in, right? That's another great reception for Rush. And again, Cooper Rush is escaping the pocket, and you see Gallup running down the back line, and you got to touch again, setting up. And this is just really just fantastic. Great catch by Noah Brown. Cooper Rush in the pocket again. And there he is. I mean, that was a great move and release, skinny post by CeeDee Lamb. So everything has been predicated and set up effectively by the Cowboys being committed to running the football. And their commitment to running the football is a part of the key that's made it so easy for Cooper Rush to get some nice, clean looks versus the cover two coverages and the looks he's had. And he's done a great job being accurate and getting rid of the ball on time and putting it where the receiver can catch it. So there it is.
man, boy, I'm so fast, boy. Y'all have no idea. But we be what we do behind here, boy. Boy, y'all have no idea. But anyway. So we got the OC up in here now. A couple of things, man, that I want to kind of go through. Obviously with the Cooper Rush thing, but then I did want to talk about Kellen Moore because, Kellen Moore obviously is a very sore spot to me. It's not even personal; it's just business, and just looking at it. Hold on, here it is. So somebody said, get that man a running game coordinator ASAP. Talking about Kellen Moore. Because obviously y'all been peeping. I've been doing a lot of content on Kellen Moore. And yesterday, I saw more and more come out. Where I was going back and showing how Mike McCarthy was forced to give him a spanking, and I literally have broken down every run play.
Oh, wow.
Every run play. Every one in order. Okay? And what you can clearly see, because this is, I don't know if we'll get to it today because it's going to eat up all our time if we do. But I'm cool with it if y'all can. But if we get into it, all right, and we just look at it, it's one thing that's real obvious is that they kept running at the strength of Washington.
No.
Just over and over and over. This is every run play. So I'm going to literally have to do a whole breakdown on this. And what I saw when I broke it down, and I broke every run play in order down. I mean, I got every one.
That's good stuff.
What it said to me is that Kellen Moore was sabotaging the run game, right? And from this standpoint, because Mike McCarthy talked about what he would do, okay? And what he used to do when he was an OC, he talked about having a defensive coordinator as his head coach. And when his head coach used to tell him, hey man, I want you to install this, he would just call the plays to get it out the way. So it's not like a diabolical, shady sabotage, but it's like, I don't believe in this way of doing it. And I was talking about that yesterday. And then somebody called me and said, boss, go listen to his interview. So I go listen to his interview, and this is what Kellen Moore said after the game. Y'all listen.
Earlier in your play calling career, were you as persistent with the run when you're kind of beating your head against the wall like that?
Everything inside of me wanted to throw the football the entire Sunday. So, but you learn, you grow.
You learn, you grow.
I think it's just understanding there's different.
Nah, he don't mean that, bro. Yeah. You learn, you grow. That's sarcastic. Cause see, we all know they've been spanking his butt. We know that.
You circumcising the gnat with that one, boy. You went all the way into it, boss.
I always do.
Hey, boss. So he goes all the way back after game 1. I know y'all got the Free Big Mike campaign, right? Hashtag,
yeah.
Was it Free Big Mike?
Yeah.
He came out and said Kellen Moore got to call. He got to call smarter plays, or he got to call. What did he say?
Yep.
Dang, I don't have a quote about.
No, that's what he said. He got to be smarter.
He got to be smarter. Okay.
Yeah.
And since that week 1, after week 1, he been smarter, at least with the attempts. And like you said, just call it just to get out of the way. Even if the numbers don't match it, I'll call a toss, sweep to the short side of the field anyhow, right? And he
not even calling no toss sweeps, Law.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
He just all inside runs.
Yeah, that
halfback dives.
Yeah, just to get the number out the way, right? And one thing they did ditch in the passing concept, they threw out the option routes. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's no option routes, ladies and gentlemen. And OC can break down option routes, or you, boss. You can just tell people what option routes are, of what the quarterback got to do to field in order to get that ball out of his hand, because we talk about anticipation throws and everything. But break it down, OC. Just to catch you over there.
Well, option route is exactly what it means. It gives the quarterback an option. So based upon the reader, the defender, the wide receiver can break it off or he can break it up. And so, I don't think that just to kind of give another perspective, I don't think that Kellen Moore should call option routes for a person like Cooper Rush. I think it needs to be 2-man combination routes, one low, one high. I think it needs to be drag routes, coming across from the opposite side of formation so we can have somebody underneath. It needs to be stop routes, some of the things that Kellen Moore runs, and it needs to be getting CeeDee Lamb like he did beautifully, lining them up in the slot and getting him open versus inferior defensive backs. So I think, and from that perspective, I do want to give Kellen Moore some credit for doing some good things schematically, in terms of trying to pass the football and be very economical and smart in his use of Cooper Rush. Okay, so I want to give him, we jump on him, I jump on him, but I want to give him his credit as it relates to some of those calls, because listen, Kellen Moore called about 4 to 5 key plays offensively from a passing perspective, and Cooper Rush was able to complete those balls. And those were the difference to me in the game. And so, I don't think option routes are a thing you want to really use with a guy like Cooper Rush. I think that's more so for your number 1 quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Yeah. And so yeah, man. So with Kellen Moore, coming out the way that he did, now it's about Kellen Moore, in my opinion, being more creative. Because that's not what we seeing out of Kellen Moore. We're not seeing the creativity in the run game. And it was
almost... you can run that back. And I'm sorry, Boss Cowboy, I got a lot to say about this. I apologize.
How far you want me to run it back? Because I've been just letting it run, and I was basically just making the case that this was very one-dimensional run game design. Very.
Yeah, and I was going to say... How
far you want me to go back? Do you want me to just let it run from the beginning, and you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, let it run from the beginning. That's fine. Or you can start with the play you had. But what I was going to say is very,
start with
very
that play you had right there.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is very, very...
do that real quick, man. Before we do that, let me do it right, because I'm going to probably cut this out and repurpose this content. Here we go.
All right.
The OC.
The film breakdown.
All right, guys. So listen, I want to give credit where credit is due, but also give some color to this whole thing. When you look at this, what you see now is you see zone right. You see, notice everybody stepping to the right, and you got a backside seal, you got a lead blocker. I mean, hey, that's power of football, right? And it's not the best plays that the Cowboys typically run. All right, so now what we'll see again, we got motion in, we got motion out, and then we have basically an inverted zone play hitting up the B gap, right? Which is to the strength of their defense, right? That's where, you know, Payne and my other guy was there just kicking a lot of people's butt. Allen, thank you. Kicking everybody's butt. So you see Zeke has a natural cut back there, but it's very, very simple, right? It's zone left, it's zone right, it's power lead left, it's inverted zone going back to the left. But if you notice and you look at this, sometimes, man, you just got physical defeats. You see there, at the point of attack, that linebacker got off the block. He made the play. And you'll see push and penetration by Allen and by Payne on a lot of these plays, which blows them up. So if you're running zone left or right, the number one thing that kills the play is penetration. And that was a great cut and great vision there by Zeke. That was a quick cut. He got vertical. So that was a really good cut by him. But it's very simple. So we can keep on going here. Zone left, zone right. That's pretty much what you're going to see. Anytime they try to double team these boys, there it is again, zone going to the left, right? And then you got a natural cutback, and then you got a linebacker coming downhill making a play. All right, so very, very simplistic. Now, what we did see earlier in the season, we saw some counter traps, we saw some lead toss sweeps, and again, that's a power play. This is just a straight base power play, and then you just getting up doing what you can there. So very simplistic, and I think that's what Boss Cowboys talking about, where you can throw in some other wrinkles where we had some of our really, really successful runs running the lead toss sweep. That's a draw play. I like that play. That was a really good play.
They only ran the draw play twice. They only ran it twice. And they had nothing outside of zone and lead. That's it. And OC, I know you've been talking about this conceptually a lot. So I got an illustration here while you kind of doing a little bit of this breakdown. You've been talking about the read to the zone. And you was talking about bend, bang, and bounce it. With this illustration, I want you to kind of go through it real quick.
Yeah, man. So this is very, very easy and very, very simple for everybody to understand, especially with the arrow. So the running back has a read, right? So if you got zone, in this instance, going to the left, all right, it's opposite of me. So if you got a seal block by the outside blocker here, and on the far left of the line of scrimmage, you could bounce that ball outside. That's considered bounce, right? You get the edge, you get what you call a hook block, you bounce the ball outside. Then you got bang. Bang is right between the tackle and the guard, in between the C and the B gap typically. That means that we got a lot of push going forward and it's a lane inside, okay? And then you just bang it up in there. And you see Ezekiel Elliott do that a lot. When he don't know where to go, he try to cut it back sometime, but then if he feels like he can't cut it back, he just bangs it up in there. Very, 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 very rarely do you see Ezekiel Elliott bounce the ball outside at this point in his career. Yeah, so you can take a look at him. Yeah, out here. Here it is, bang. There it is, excuse me, bang, right up the gut. He's getting vertical, right?
Yep.
And now you have the last part of it, and I'll look at him, and we can kind of see what he does here. And so look at this, all right? So you got a version of,
and they've been setting the edge on it too.
Yep.
Yep, version of overload, and then it's nowhere for him to go, man. He got to just try to get
one. If you go back, that should have been converted to the other side. Let me see.
That should have been a cutback run.
Yeah.
That should have been a cutback.
He didn't have the numbers, right?
Yeah, so if you look at him here, and we'll look at it. Let's look at it. Everybody stepping to let him hike the ball here. Everybody stepping to the right. Here it is. Boom. But really, it was nowhere for him to cut back because you had so much penetration on the backside. That just was going to be a tackle for loss anyway because people got their butt kicked. I mean, and so when people get their butt kicked on the line of scrimmage and Montez
still got beat with speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there it is. You got penetration. You see that? Zach Martin get his butt kicked. He get his butt kicked on that play. They try to trap inside. He get his butt kicked. There's another zone play. But look at these defensive tackles for the Washington Commanders, man. These guys are doing some work. These guys are upfield. These guys are kicking people butt. And that's what I'm talking about right there. That's a win. And that's just getting beat one-on-one. That's getting beat one-on-one by a good defensive lineman, man. And ain't nothing you can do about that. It don't matter what play you call. So some of this stuff, it was predicated on one-on-one defeats, all right? And so you got double team aside. And then you got Montez Sweat blowing up the play from the backside. He's beating Schwartz. He can't block Montez Sweat. I don't even know why they line up tight ends like this on big, strong defensive ends. He has no chance in Hades to block this kid.
Yeah.
No chance.
That's wiggle.
And so
right
you
there.
Bang it up
you
and
keep
done.
seeing it. Yeah, it's
So now the last thing, boss, on this one is that last arrow going back to
Ben.
the right. You would have the bounce, right? So the bend, excuse me. So if it's not there to bounce outside, if you have no hole going straight ahead up the middle, then normally you may have some over pursuit by the defensive line and the linebackers in particular. So it's predicated on that backside linebacker where that second arrow is. It's right on top of that linebacker on this illustration. And if he over pursues, then you have a natural cutback, and that's called bend. So now you bend the ball back and you come out the back door, as they say.
And that's where, to me, just kind of breaking it down too, that's where running back vision talent is important, right?
Yes.
Your ability to be able to diagnose it, make the right decision in time. And it's about sometimes trust, right? So if you got guys that you trust go make they blocks and they got a good history, you go guess right. You know what I mean? Like, so a young Zach Martin, I'm just gonna bend that thing. You feel me? I'm gonna bend it, and I'm gonna be ahead of it because I trust him. You know what I mean? So we just kind of want to break it all the way down conceptually at the final word, where you can see, to me, in my opinion, that Kellen Moore was being very one-dimensional, but it was also a hard task anyway because of that front. But you need to help them because you wasn't doing anything outside. You didn't even try to speed.
Do you think
you tried it one time?
Do you think the Schultz out there kind of hurt a lot of that too? Because it looked like he was kind of favoring, and also he kind of got a hold on one of those plays. Do you have that one in the queue?
The hold, I got every running play, Law.
Okay.
So if everything.
Let me talk about that aspect. While if you want to look for a boss, you can. But I'm gonna just talk about that aspect for just one quick second. So the thing with Dalton Schultz is the same thing that I said last year before they franchise tagged him. Dalton Schultz is a good safety net, safety valve tight end, but he's not a blocking tight end, right? Never has been. So if you have Dalton Schultz blocking backside on the zone play, it's no way Ezekiel or even Pollard is going to bend the ball back like I'm talking about. You know why? Because he's going to get beat across his face every time. He's going to get pushed in the backfield. That guy's going to be free, chasing down the back. It's not going to be a lane to cut the ball back. Now, what you could do strategically if you're Kellen Moore, and this is when you get into your personnel group, and this is more granular, right? Front side, you could have one of your other backup tight ends that's strong at the point of attack. If you want to set up or facilitate a backside cut, why not put the rookie Jake Ferguson backside? Because he's strong and he covers people up. So he's not going to let his man run free, and that's going to have you the ability to have a read and look out the back door and maybe make that cut and come out the backside if it's clogged up on the front side.
Man, boy, you're preaching, dog.
Yeah, we got one more film session real quick, but Big, we ain't say nothing. You ain't say nothing. I want to make sure I got you in here, big dog.
I don't want to say nothing. When OC get to talking on them damn film sessions, I'll be sitting back like a kid in a candy store, dog. I'll be back there chilling like, oh boy, here we go. I'm ready to get here and get some good popcorn and learning some stuff. So nah, I'm good, dog. I like listening when y'all start breaking that stuff down. You can always learn some good things. Law, all y'all, when y'all all do that. I really appreciate it. So when the sessions get to going, I get to chilling and listening.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, man. Shout out to the OC, man.
Yeah,
really, truly.
That boy.
Because
brain over
everybody got to keep it real, man. One thing Law always say, man, Law say I ain't got a lot of kick it. And see, this is one thing about the final word is we know where people are strong and we lean on that. You know what I mean? Big is a defensive guy. I'm a defensive guy. Law's a defensive guy. Yep. We mostly defensive guys, but we cerebral, but we also got to be humble enough to say, hey, sometimes sit back, man. That dude, OC, first of all, he's smart. Second of all, he truly is an OC. Third of all, he played a lot of offensive line at a high level and on a pro level. Sometimes you got to know when to be humble. Just keep it real. Sometimes you got to know when to be humble. So I feel you on that, Big.
Hey, we got before you go into that creativity, man, not this week, but last week when we had the young tight ends out there, I absolutely loved it because he had 13 personnel out there, OC. I don't know.
There we
I know
go.
you don't got
There
that
you go.
clip queued up, but the 13 personnel, when everybody was selling the form to stop Ezekiel Elliott, they failed to realize that play opened up they passed out of it. Present power to finesse them. And I thought we was going to use the aggressions of the Washington team in this game. But boss, since you got every play queued up,
Yeah, I do.
you don't have to even show me. But I
Okay.
can probably remember. Did they ever line up 13 at all in this game?
I don't remember seeing 13, bro.
At
It
all.
looked like they went super basic, man, to your point.
Wow.
To your point. They really see Coach Marv was raising this. Thank you for the super chat, the $10. He said, boss, didn't I say personnel tight end cutoffs and run game coordinator?
Woo!
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Coach, listen, at this
Appreciate
point,
you, Coach.
everybody should know to really listen to Coach Marv. Straight up. We got respect for you, Coach, and you've been dead on the money
Coach
on a lot
Marbury
of
going
stuff.
ham.
Damn.
He
You've
be
been
talking
dead
the
on,
truth.
and you're a
There
treasure
you
to
go.
the nation. We all know that. Like, no cap.
Heck
He
yeah, he
sped-
is
he
a big
sped
treasure.
And how
Yeah.
many
Dead
rushing
on.
yards did we have against the Giants? And I'm not saying that the Giants front is equivalent to the Washington team, but how many rushing yards do we have at least?
I can pull it up. I could also say we was
We
way
had
more
100
creative.
and we had 175 yards rushing.
And we was more creative in the run game versus the Giants.
Why
We
would
was
he
more
change
creative.
everything for Schultz? And shout out to Schultz.
Bro.
I get him with the PCL tear and everything. He trying to get back out there. But it seems as if, though, he was like, okay, I'm going to get creative with my boys, my young fish, Hendershot and all of those guys. But he just went away in this game.
Man, I think
Can I say something
I
with that
think
right
Kellen
quick?
Moore-
Can I say something right quick on that? Did you notice when you say that about Schultz, but do you also notice when Stephen Jones started speaking very highly of him, like, oh, we really love them Ferguson and Hendershot? That's when you saw a lot of the creativity right after that. It's almost like when they kind of talk, then Kellen Moore kind of follows right after it. So when he was giving those glowing reviews, then you saw a lot of Hendershot. But I also think, just like you were saying, OC, that he's just not the blocking tight end. Even when he was coming out of Stanford, he wasn't really the blocking tight end, that he was more the receiving tight end when he was at Stanford. And when you see Hendershot and Ferguson, they're just more physical at the point of attack. And I don't know, man, those dudes get exciting. I just want to say one last thing. I'm still frustrated they changed them daggone numbers. Because 48 and
Man, that was
49,
dope.
when them boys come
Facts,
in,
dog.
they was dope with them 48 and 49. Because them dogs, and I don't know how Hendershot didn't get drafted. I don't know how he went undrafted.
He had a domestic violence thing on him, DV.
Oh, okay,
You know how
okay,
that go,
okay.
you know. But I ain't trying to bring up old news,
okay.
man. Y'all don't
Yeah,
wanna dig into
for
that.
sure.
That just
I didn't. I personally didn't know that. So
DV,
I can.
yeah.
I see. Okay, I see that. I can see that. But he's a dog, man.
Yeah, and
He
somebody
reminds me
said-
of Aaron Hernandez.
Somebody
No,
said
not the off season, the
Man,
off field.
Hey, he was ready to throw them hands. Hey, he was ready to throw them hands in that Giants at the end of the Giants game.
Somebody says, so just so y'all know, we gave Sky hell about LVE earlier today and needed film session him too. What y'all think? Well, first of all, I'm gonna say Landlord already did a real good film session on LVE. It's a real good one that really showed that the Bengals game was actually a good game from LVE.
Right.
So I'm never gonna knock LVE when he plays well.
Right.
But it's and I think all of us are doing more and more homework. So I don't really know what was said to Sky, so I don't want to speculate. I want to be fair because I wasn't there to say what happened. But all I know is that all of us put in work, and sometimes what happened is we catch up later, or sometimes we're ahead. It depends on when have you done your research. You know what I mean? So it's certain things I know I need to break down. I haven't fully by the tape fully broken down LVE enough to truly crucify him. It's more so kind of like watching it from the game, which is honestly not enough. You got to dig a little bit deeper. You know what I'm saying?
But
at
can we
this
say
point-
this though, boss? Can we say, I didn't mean to cut you off, boss, but can we say this? the physicality that doesn't.
That's
go
what we
anywhere.
see.
I mean,
Right.
we,
And I agree.
That's basically what
that's
we
the
see.
main
That's
thing
what
we
we
see.
see.
Physicality.
Yeah, that's what we see.
And foot speed. Come
Yeah,
on,
and
man.
catching.
You
Foot
don't
speed.
you don't have to have 22.
Catching.
Yeah,
Not
right.
getting
You
off
don't
the
have to have no
sideline.
sense. Right.
You can see that.
This
you can
is
see
right
you don't have
there.
the foot
Right,
speed.
that's
Yeah.
blow. That's right there.
You don't got to break down no film to see nobody getting blocked by tight ends, man. You know what I mean? You ain't got to see that. You don't need a film breakdown or see that when you're watching the game, man, and see them getting pushed back and not running downhill, hitting people as soon as they get the ball. Like, you don't need a big film breakdown for that. No offense to LB. I'm just simply saying that, you know.
And on the flip side, you don't need really no analysis on film sessions on Dono. You can see, man, who is that? That's 6 go across the screen.
That's the hit man.
You'll be like, man,
That's
you
the
don't,
hit
you
man.
don't need an all 22 to see if that man doing some work. Some things you can actually see. And Dono, and I know it's a whole nother subject, but Dono, is he playing better than LVE?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So when somebody say, "Hey man,
He
LVE
playing almost better than everybody."
Right? One could. I ain't gonna go that far.
No,
but one could
he was
argue
my
that.
star player this
One can
game.
argue
He
that,
was
though.
my star player. He had 8 solo tackles.
Right. Well,
8.
that's what I'm
I think
saying.
he had another
One can
double-digit tackle
one can
game.
argue that he is playing better than that person. I ain't gonna say his name, but I'm just saying you can actually stand on that.
Hey, one person that I ain't brought up in a while, man, and I'm gonna just get on and off of this, man. But shout out to Fowler, man. Oh, Fowler need more tick, man.
Yeah. Hey,
Period.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Disruptive. He's very disruptive.
But you know what?
With very
He has
little
got
reps,
more-
he come in there and he smashes OC.
Yeah, he's disruptive, man. He is very disruptive, man. He's very disruptive, and as the season go on, man, he go pay dividends, man. He go get his. You know what I mean? He just got to keep playing.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we need to see more foul over Armstrong. Hey, I got a film session again, OC.
Armstrong haven't been bad now.
Now Armstrong
hasn't
hasn't been
Armstrong
bad.
hasn't
And
been
see,
bad.
I like that.
He has
Big.
not been bad. He has not been
And
bad.
you know what?
bad,
I've
bro.
been liking
They've been good
Armstrong.
together.
I've been liking Armstrong at the 3.
Yeah, they move him all around. They be having him and Fowler at the same time. I like him when they have him at the package, when they put him on opposite sides. But to your point, boss, he is getting more tick because he got 10 snaps in the Tampa Bay game, 21 snaps in the Cincinnati, and then he got 26 against the Giants. I didn't get to see his snap count against the Washington Commanders, but he was disruptive. He had 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. So that's 2 games back to back with sacks. Well, he
It's
had
the
one
Washington
in the
right
Bengals
here.
game. So how many snaps? What was the snap count against?
I'm trying to see.
What was the snap count?
Fowler had 26.
26.
Yeah.
So he was right at what he had against the Giants, but he still, you see what I'm saying?
He need more.
Dan Quinn is getting him. He needs to get in there because we said it before. He's a better player when he got that good talent around him. When he got to be the man, he's maybe not as good. But when you got a Michael Parsons, you got a Dorrance Armstrong Jr., you got DeMarcus Lawrence. It makes you better because you can't key on him. He gets free, and he bendy too. You feel me? He bendy.
Hello.
Yeah, and I want to give some credit to your point, and I want to go back to one more thing and we can move on. But listen, I mean, Armstrong, man, you can say, and I've watched him, and I actually have watched some extra film of him the last 2 weeks, on the last 2 weeks. You can say whatever you want about the athleticism of Fowler, and look, that is all true. But the thing about him, it is something to be said about workmanlike mentality and just effort. Like, he plays with, like, effort, man. And he plays with trying to get there, and it's paying off with him getting some sacks. Even if they clean up sacks or whatever, man, look, man, it's the production is production. So I can't hate on him as much or just say as much about him. Athletically, yeah, you see some better people, but man, his production with the snaps that he's being given, he's being productive. Now, I did want to go back to one quick thing that Law said. Law, you brought up something really, whoa.
Yeah, you thought you was going to just say something like what you just said and think I was going to let you make it on that. No, sir. No, sir. Sacks are not sacks. Don't you do it, OC.
Dude, he's got how many sacks on the year, Boss Cowboy?
Don't do it, bro.
He's got 3. He's got 3 sacks.
it.
Now,
Hey, boss.
no, he had a good
Sacks
game.
are not
no,
sacks.
boss,
No,
don't do that.
no.
Boss. I had to
Don't do
eat.
that,
I had
boss.
to eat
He
a whole plate of crow on Dorrance
You ate it
Armstrong.
too fast, dog.
No.
He played good in that Bengals
Especially-
game. You
and
gonna
I
say
I
he
do
didn't
like
play
his
good in that
hustle, but
Bengals game?
sacks are not sacks. I'm gonna
Especially
fight everybody
Randy
on that.
Gregory is being hurt, and he's gone for numerous games. And I'm
He's
not
been
trying to
hella
throw,
husling.
I ain't trying to
and
throw
he
Randy
look,
Gregory in
I
his
ain't
low.
fighting you on that.
But the
He
front
been setting
office,
edge
He been
a little
playing
bit on
hard,
that
bro.
outside.
He playing hard, but this is my point.
He playing
Sacks are
hard,
not
man.
sacks.
huh?
Bro,
They're
tackles and
cleanup
sacks,
sacks, and then they're athletic sacks. I can show you the difference. I still got the film break.
You don't have to show me
Boss,
the
what are
difference.
you
You don't have to
saying?
show me the difference. I'm not going down that argument path with you because the
Boss,
truth is,
what are you
we can talk about
saying?
athleticism.
I'm
and we
just
had-
angry
we
right
had
now,
Randy
man. I
Gregory.
want the best
Hold a
man
second.
out there. I'm greedy,
we had
dog.
We had Randy Gregory here with his athletic, freakish 4-4 running self, and he had 6.5 sacks.
So?
Okay, his athletic, freaky, bendy, matrix-looking self. Okay, and he came up with 6.5 sacks. Okay, so I got to be honest. At some point, we got to look at the production and however he got them. He got them. The productivity, the tackles for loss, the pressures. They're still productivity, tackles for loss, pressures, and sacks. So you can't just discredit the man because we're in the danger zone, boss, and you my guy. But we're in the danger zone
No,
of
we
playing a little
not.
bit favorite.
You putting all kind of
Yes,
words in
we
my
are.
mouth. I ain't gonna let you do it.
Too, boss.
You got me some.
Hold up.
Boss, he done
Hold
blocked
up,
two
hold up,
field
boss.
goals. He
Boss,
done
he's
saved
third.
6 points.
He's third.
Probably.
First of all, boss, hold up. I'm just saying.
What
boss,
did I
he's
say
third
though?
on the
See,
team.
I agree with
He's
what
third
y'all
on the
said,
team.
but what did I say?
You gonna eat the
Why
plate
did I hit
pro.
this
Said
button?
sacks
See,
ain't
I was
lost that.
specific. I was specific. Y'all not finna put words in my mouth. I know he getting pressures. I know he getting tackles for loss. I know it. But what I said, and I stand by, is sacks are not all the same. Come on now, stop it. I'm fighting everybody today.
Wait a minute, but you just can't look at that part of it. The pressures, the hurries, the hits, and he blocked 2 field goals. Balls, he
He's
blocked
third on the team.
He blocked
And see,
2
I
field
agree.
goals.
I'm just saying. Can y'all say what I'm saying, please?
Hold on.
Can-
Is that more
I
valuable?
see y'all trying to put the words all in my mouth. Y'all trying to get me to swallow words. See, y'all trying to put words in my mouth, and then I'm supposed to fight what y'all put in my mouth. That's
I'm
never
agreeing
gonna happen with
with
me.
you,
I'm too quick.
Wait a minute.
That's never
Balls.
gonna happen.
Wait a minute. Is
I'm
that
saying
more
one
valuable?
thing.
people are
Is that
better
more
off-
valuable than
Sacks
Randy
are not
Gregory?
sacks.
Hold on.
Can we just talk about what I'm talking
Is
about?
that more valuable than $70 million right now? 2 blocked field goals, 3 sacks for the season, all of
So
those
what
parries
kind of-
and hits. Is that more valuable?
So hold on
I
real
ate my
quick.
crow. I ate my crow.
But see, now we gotta go one-on-one on this one, dog. See, I don't listen, dog. This is the deal. First of all, you cannot get front office back on this because
got to
front
give them
office
credit.
dropped the ball. No,
give them credit for this one, man.
this is what they trying to do. They trying to sell the whole fans like they walked away from Randy Gregory, and that is a lie. So now they're trying to say, oh, we got 3 for 1. No, you wanted the 1 and you was willing to pay them the same amount that Denver did. You just messed up at the closing table. So I'm not going to let you lie to me after the fact, front office.
They geniuses
I
right
agree.
now.
I agree with that.
I agree with what you're saying, but right now, they are geniuses right now.
No, they not.
On the Armstrong,
They only geniuses if you give it to them.
Not geniuses
If
because
you
it
give
got
them
messed
genius,
up.
they genius,
They're
but
not
they didn't earn
geniuses.
genius on Randy
They're not-
Gregory. No, they
didn't get
didn't.
genius on that
But
one,
right
Law.
now, they
didn't get
hit.
genius on that
No,
one,
they
Law.
got lucky. They
got
need to say
lucky.
how
They
they
got
did
lucky.
with Dak.
That was
Because see,
luck.
with Dak, they admitted.
That was luck, Law.
Because that was luck.
I know it's luck, but
was
shooting
luck.
still,
And
that
luck
money still
counts.
spent.
I'm
They got-
cool. If I win by luck,
They're
I would
trying
still
to-
say I
but they're
won. So
trying to
luck
play
do
it-
count.
they're trying to
But
play
you
it
can't
like
stick
they
your
do it
chest
on
out.
purpose.
Yeah, you
They
can't
trying
stick
to
your
like
chest
they
out
did
like
on
you
purpose.
did that on
They
purpose.
didn't do that on purpose.
No, you didn't. You
They didn't do
tried.
that on
Matter of
purpose.
fact, they started leaking out that he was signed.
They did.
Right. We thought he was signed.
Everybody, we start sharing it on Twitter instantly,
Right, we
and
shared it
it
on
broke
Twitter.
down at the closing table. And now they trying to take credit for it. I'm not gonna let you take credit for what you don't deserve.
Right. I feel that.
So then now they trying to be 3 for 1. We got 3 for 1. No, you didn't.
Who's the other two that they hit? Who the other two? Because I know they striking out on LVE.
Sam Williams.
All right, Sam Williams.
And they was right
No, I didn't
on
mean that. I didn't
Collins.
mean
They
that.
was right on Collins.
They
I
was
agree
right
with
on
them on
Collins.
Collins.
They're right
On
on
Lyle.
Collins, right?
I agree with them on it. And they made that decision. I give them credit for that.
I'm still cool with them letting go. I mean, they was cool with letting go Connor Williams. I don't care what he's doing at Miami. I'm cool with
cool
him
with
going.
that too.
He's center. He playing a whole nother
They
spot
did
now.
good.
Yeah.
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 All right.
We ain't never hated on certain things about the front office, though. We can all say that. We ain't never hated on what the front office has done in certain aspects.
Oh, no.
We talk about that meddling, and
Yep.
it's always that little meddling.
That part.
That's what we talking about.
That's it.
It's the meddling.
They smart.
Stay away.
They cold in
Go sit upstairs
personnel.
and chill.
They cold in budgeting. They know how to manage some money. They cold in contracts. I give them that.
Let me ask you this. Let me level with you because I don't like to lose, man. I definitely hate to eat that crow. And you said I ate it too soon. So would you partake in the crow fest or eating some of the crow if DA get 7 sacks, 8 sacks? What would be your number? We'd do a crow show.
This is the thing. We don't. Me nor you eating crow on Armstrong.
Okay.
We not because they dropped the ball.
Somebody wants me to eat some crow right now.
Like, listen. And we all eat crow. I've eaten crow and said where they was right. They was right on having faith in Anthony Brown. They was right in having faith in Noah Brown. We all ate crow on that, right? And I said that I saw a little nuance in Noah Brown, but I didn't expect this. I didn't. So to be honest, yes, we've eaten crow from front office, but gladly. And I like crow because crow mean that we doubted somebody that actually played better than we expected. So that mean the team better when we eat crow. So crow is good.
Yeah, it's good crow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's good crow. And so listen, I tell you what, if it mean that we better, I eat some crow even if he get 10 sacks. But I need 10
sacks, man. I go eat a double crow.
That's what I'm saying. I need 10, man. But you know what? Armstrong is balling. He is hustling. It's a matter of right now being greedy for what's gonna make us better. Because at this point, that's why we talking about how to be better at linebacker. So that's why we holding LV accountable. And Armstrong out of all the defensive ends is the weakest link with Sam Williams. So can we get a little bit better with Fowler? That's how we ask.
Let me say this though. It's a similar topic. Let me pull it up right quick. And there's a group. It's a Cowboys group, and they said that all right, read this out. Noah Brown got 18 receptions for 274 yards. Right. There's a guy with 20 receptions for 228 yards. They saying that hey, those numbers, Law. Noah Brown is putting up Amari Cooper's numbers.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
That's what. Look, there's a whole Cowboys group, man, on Facebook.
But that's what people just look at. That's what people just read.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not context.
So is that not front office?
They listen. Some people really want to kiss the ring of front office so bad that even when it's dumb, they gonna try to find a way to try to make it smart.
We know who they are. We know who they are, boss.
Yeah. It's some people, man, they be ready to fight Boss Cowboy, Big Game James Law, and the OC over legit critiques that we have in front office. So my response to that is this. If you put Amari Cooper on a number 3 and a number 2 corner, like Noah Brown is going against, we all know that Amari Cooper will have 3,000 yards. I said 3,000. 3,000. He would have
27 touchdowns.
With 27. Do we really think Amari wouldn't kill a nickel back?
He was killing ones over here.
He was killing ones over here.
He was
not
killing
gonna
ones
kill
over here. He was destroying
ones
over here. He was destroying ones over here.
Yeah, so that's out of context. You know what I'm saying? And
hey, boss.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, because I'm going to clip it. I'm going to post that part because I'm tired of going back and forth with folks, man. But appreciate you. Appreciate y'all, man. Go ahead.
But I'm happy about Noah Brown.
Yeah, I'm trying to Noah Brown.
I want to jump on this right quick, and because I'm ready to get off of here. But Coach Marv gave me a $2 holler. He said, "Can Big Game eat some crow on Tank Lawrence?" I don't know if I'm really eating crow on him, because here's the thing. This is what I said about Tank. I said he'll get pressures. We know he's gonna get pressures.
If you don't get out of here, dog. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I can only eat crow when I feel like it's legit. It's some legit. But I did say against the Giants, when DeMarcus Lawrence goes against regular tackles or guys who are not that good, or if they're rookies, he kills them. He went against a rookie against the Giants. Evan knew he's a rookie, and he did what he was supposed to do. I mean, I can't jump on that one. Yeah, he had 9 pressures against the Commanders. Hey, I can't say nothing against that. He got 9 pressures, almost got a would-be sack. But I've heard that about a lot about DeMarcus Lawrence, about the would-be sacks. He was close, but he didn't get there. But he got a lot of pressures. He disrupted the game. He disrupted the game against the Giants. So I'll eat that crow on that part of it. But I still say he still need to get me 10 sacks here.
10
Listen,
sacks.
you don't need to eat crow on that, man. I'm gonna tell you just honestly, man. Look, DeMarcus Lawrence is go beat the people that he's supposed to beat. You know, and
that's why I love OC.
DeMarcus Lawrence is more of a disruptive player than a major sack producer. That's where he is at this point in his career. Is he gonna get you some sacks? Yes. Will he get you 8 to 10 if he's taking care of his business? Yes, he will. But he's not a 15 sack guy anymore. That's not his game, because there are not enough bad tackles that will afford him the opportunity to get up to 13, 14, 15 sacks. But he's a great run defender. He's a great teammate. He's disruptive, and he's going to make a good amount of plays for you. But in terms of him running it up on the sacks, man, he's going to do that only against certain people, man. So you don't need to eat no crow on that. That just is what it is. And prayerfully, because he had a little limp, prayerfully, he's healthy. He don't, give me 6 games and he's out 5 and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully he can play it all the way through. And that's also been another factor when factoring his production when you talk about D. Lawrence.
Yes, indeed.
Come on.
He got a versus. I'm jumping in this versus too. Get him, Mosley. I'm right behind you, dog.
Y'all need to
stop.
Stop.
Both
of y'all need to stop. OC and Ben, y'all need to stop this, bro.
No, he telling the truth. He telling the whole truth. Yeah, he is. Because guess what?
Talk to me.
He telling the
Talk
truth.
to me.
Because you know daggone well, boss, if we talking real, when you watch DeMarcus Lawrence, when he has his biggest production games, it's against tackles that are not that good, or they're rookies, or they're green. Go look at the stats. The stats show it. Go look at the tape. The tape shows it. It happens. It does. 3 sacks against a rookie. We all knew it. We knew before the game started. What was everybody saying? DeMarcus Lawrence going to have a big game. And when he went against the Commanders, I said this should be a game that DeMarcus Lawrence should get, because that second-year player, Samuel Cosmi, was getting tore up the week before. So I said this should be a game that he should do good against. And what happened? He did. He got 9 pressures in the game. That's what he's supposed to do. But just like OC said,
9 pressures? You supposed to get 9 pressures?
I mean, you going against a second-year guy?
Hold on, bro. I got to jump in now. I got to tag me in.
Tag in.
Matter of fact,
actually got 7 pressures. 2
Hold
hits.
on real quick. Hold on, that's my butt's tripping.
And boss, let him know what we about to do this week. We can go ahead and segue in talking about those Rams, because he about to eat. Go ahead,
y'all.
Go ahead, get it.
What's he gonna eat on? What's he gonna eat on?
This is the deal. So are you telling me
the Rams online?
You supposed to get? Listen, he had 3 sacks. He should have had 6, and that was the top graded tackle this previous draft. Yeah, he's a rookie.
Boss.
No, it does mean something.
No, it don't. Because we was just talking about
hold on.
the rookie
It's another
tackles
thing
getting
to
worse.
this big you got to be real on this on. This is the deal. What did I talk about last week that they changed this week? I said they need to stop putting Tank at the 3, because he's not going to be able to get as much sacks on passing downs. And the moment this week, they played him mostly what? At defensive end, just like I talked about. And that's why you seeing him turn up. Also, really what he should be thanking is Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons is the real reason for the restoring of Tank. Because back in the day, Tank was the guy getting the doubles. Now, because of Micah Parsons being superior as an athlete, he's gonna eat up everybody.
It wasn't back in
Tank
the day.
gonna get 10 sacks this year.
He got doubles twice in contract years. So I'm not going to jump off the ledge where he was no double-digit sack guy and all that. He was hurt guy, and he was not double-digit sack guy. He was hurt guy, and he's been hurt most of his career. Now, he has been more healthy, but he was hurt last year. You just seen him limping in the game. So I'm not taking that away from him. But what I'm saying is just you went against Neal. When I see him go against when he went against Tristan Wirfs, it was nothing.
He was on the inside, big.
Well, was it? He was on the outside. Don't do that, boss. I watched that whole damn tape.
He played on the inside. He played.
You
know what? He played both. But man, he played too much 3-tech.
When he go against a top tackle or a good tackle, he don't do it, and you know it, boss.
A top tackle tackle. How many top tackles is it?
I mean, I can go down the line.
About
if we
4.
can go down the team. Okay, what I'm saying is he went
So that
against
means
the top guy.
13 games he gonna eat.
2 games in a row. 2 games in a row. Let me just break it down then, boss. 2 games in a row against that Bengals team. He had no pressure, no hits. You ain't gonna give me that, dog. You ain't gonna give me that. Because guess what? His first 2 games, his first 2 games in pressures, hits, sacks, it was 0 across the board. He went against a rookie and he ate.
You are
he
fake
went against
news.
a second-year player. All right. I'm right. I'm right. I don't care.
So what he gonna put up this weekend?
Huh?
What Law is gonna put up this weekend against those?
We're
Rams?
probably gonna have like 5 pressures, probably about 3 tackles, and maybe a sack. Maybe.
Can I introduce you to a crow if he get 3 again? If he get 3,
whoa, 3 again?
He ain't getting 3 again.
He
Let's
ain't
see
getting
that.
3 again?
I love it. I don't believe it.
I think Tank go get you 2.
If Tank get 3 sacks in this game versus the Rams, I'll do triple. I'll tweet D. Lawrence and say, Mr. Lawrence, I'm so sorry for ever saying anything about you and your prestigious ability.
All right, hold on. Hold on. Let's get the numbers right. Now, I want to get these numbers right, bro, because I want you eating some crow today, dog. Let's be real, too. Because I think 1 sack is good with 6 pressures. If he get 1 sack with 6 pressures, I need you to tag Tank and say, sorry, sir.
I'm not tagging him on that. I'm not tagging him on that.
No.
3 is good with OC saying.
3? No. Bro, 3 in the game, bro. No, that's too much, dog. Come on, now. That ain't too much, dog.
Hold up, Law and Boss. I'm going to go back and saying this again. It ain't just about no sacks because pressures and hits and all that matter. Yes, it does. I know it.
Pressures.
I am not. Come on, I know pressures matter, okay? But what I am saying is it's disruptive, just like what OC is saying. He's disruptive.
Who's the most disruptive against the Giants?
Well,
period.
You keep going to the daggone. He went against Neal. Neal was getting his man.
I just asked a simple question. Can you answer the question? Who's the most disruptive? Just a simple question.
Let's do this big game.
The whole team. Now you can ask. You can use the whole team.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
I'm not doing that.
Let's do this.
No.
Bosa versus the Rams. He had 3 total tackles, 3 solos, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 5 QB hits. What can my guy D-Law do? Can he do? What would be equivalency from your aspect, Big Gabe James and the OC, so I can give you guys some crow? What would be equivalent?
I think equivalent to that. Damn, that's a good game,
give me like
bro.
7. You give me 7.
Damn, that's a good game.
Let me give him 7. Okay, because how they do it by Pro Football Focus. Let's say give me 6 hurries, 3 hits on the quarterback, and 2 sacks.
2 sacks?
2 sacks?
Yeah, I need
more. Yeah, because that's a good game,
how much
man.
Credit would you give him for tackle for loss?
Freaking great game.
How much credit would you give him for
tackle
for loss?
I will give him credit underneath those circumstances, but let me point out a couple things. And then I want your number, Boss Cowboy. I want, what is Tank Lawrence's sack total this year? Give me your number, sir. Give me your number.
Okay, write this down, everybody.
No,
I'm going to tell you.
You said 12.
Yeah, 12. He's going to do 12 sacks this year.
12?
Okay.
Yeah,
12.
He got to play the Giants again. Right. And he got, 12.
And make sure we save this tape.
Yeah, it's live. Okay, hold on. Right, 10 to 12.
Oh, yeah.
No, 12.
No, I can do that. You can't tell me what to do. I do what I want to do. 10 to 12. 10 to 12.
12, man. Give him 10 to 12.
10
No, it ain't gonna be
12.
12. I
Look,
said, you
look,
said 12.
Look,
and you said it
Parsons
strongly,
took
boss.
2 sacks away
Now
from
you
him.
like 10.
Parsons
Right.
took 2 sacks away from him.
10 to
Donovan
12
Wilson
is
took
fair.
a sack away from
You know,
him. Hey, he was
Everybody
already
go and
at,
take
he's
a
already
sack
at
away from
5.
him. I don't
That's
want to
me.
hear that no more about him.
Wilson took
12.
a sack
Everybody go and
away
take
from him.
sacks away from him.
Wilson
12
took a
it
sack
is.
away
Stick with
from
12.
him.
It's 12.
Oh, man.
That dude
Stick
gonna
with
have
your 12.
giving
And
this
then
man
let me
He
say
gonna do
Giving
12.
this man excuses.
are
So
Okay,
you
you
impressed,
said
Law?
12.
You were impressed,
This
Law,
year.
with him whooping a rookie like that, right? You was
I'm
impressed with that,
Law.
Law.
Law is
A
impressed
rookie.
with Law.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
You was impressed with them whipping a rookie, Neil. You was impressed with that, right?
Yeah.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Look,
Nice.
listen. The
You
only
wasn't,
thing that we
Law.
gotta keep
Maybe
in
boss
mind,
was,
he
but
had
Law
a
was. Law lying.
he almost had
Law lying.
6 sacks.
Law lying. Law
6
lying.
in one game. That's impressive.
Almost, right? Almost impressive. Almost impressive.
Ooh.
Almost is impressive. Almost is impressive.
It is.
Remember when Derek Thomas
Almost is impressive. See, you see how he tried to do.
Got them 7 sacks?
See, you
Remember
see
when
how he
Derek
tried to
Thomas
do.
got them
He
7
tried to
sacks?
minimize almost. No, that's impressive. Because even if you miss the sacks, they count as a pressure, so it's still impressive.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So if the quarterback slides in and you almost made the sack and he throws a touchdown, did the pressure matter?
Not that time. But okay, let me use my example. What if he sidestep and he throw it out of bounds? Does the pressure matter? See, it's all about how you ask the question.
Yeah.
You see
But
how
it
he
didn't
tried
happen.
me on that?
But it didn't happen. No, you give yourself that. Give yourself that.
Finish it.
You finish it.
Wrong.
Yeah, you wrong on that.
You get everybody.
You are fake news.
You get everybody.
You see, but you see, OC, he was saying 12, and then he said, no, let me go down to 10. 'cause I
He
don't
got
trust
scared.
12.
He got scared. He
He
got
didn't
scared.
trust 12. He said, let me go 10.
So
He
the
got
OC
scared.
and big game. So you trying to tell me 10 sacks wouldn't be impressive?
Hell yeah, for him.
I think 10 sacks for him is a very good year.
Very great.
I think
very,
he,
very good
I think it's a very good year.
He
I think
might
he gets
do
10 sacks, it's a
14.
very good year.
Keep
He ain't
talking.
doing no damn.
He might do
14.
14. Keep talking.
He gets
No
14,
chance.
he makes the Pro Bowl.
Only way he doing 14 is if he heard this show.
Yeah, somebody need to send it to him. Send him the show. Cause I'm on the cool, man. Say, bro, y'all got Tank 1-on-1 for the rest of the year, boy. Y'all finna. I'm
been
finna
seeing
bet some money
1-on-1.
on it. I'm
So
finna
what-
bet some
so-
money.
Okay, so hold up. So he wasn't seeing 1-on-1s against Tristan Wirfs.
You talking about one of the best tackles,
Oh,
dog.
there we go. See what? He's one of the
We
best.
already said the
D
numbers
ends.
are with me, dog.
He's one
Because
of the
we
best
both
D
said
ends in
he
the
can
league,
only
right?
go against about 4 this year, maybe on that level. So that means the rest of the
Alright.
13 go be on Neil level, and he go.
But he been doing
feast.
that all. Okay, you said that. How long he been in the league?
Shout out
I'm
to you,
talking about
Coach
this
Mark.
And
year.
I'm sure there's.
I'm talking about
okay.
this year with Micah Parsons drawing the doubles. That's totally different.
Which number
Doubles
is it,
and
boss?
triples, by the
14,
way.
12, or
Doubles
10?
and triples.
Doubles and
triple
triples. And you
sometimes.
telling me
Which
Tank
one
ain't
is it,
gonna
boss?
turn up?
14, 12, or 10? Which one is it? Because you said it could get 14, it could be 12. Which one is it?
I will bet
10.
money on 12.
How much
I
you want to
think he
bet?
might get you 14.
Okay, how much you want to throw on
Okay,
that
how
12?
much money you go?
How much you want?
you go bet
I
on
got
12?
50 on it.
Wait,
I got
wow.
50 on it.
How much money you go bet on
Bet the
12?
50.
on it.
50.
I got the 50. I'm
What
betting
you want to
the
do, OC? You getting froggy over
I-
there?
Bet 50 on 12. Don't go
look,
to 10.
I
12.
I'll double down. I'll double down with Big and go 50, man. I don't want to take too much
Look
of
at
your
y'all
money if you
betting
lose.
against
So,
Tank. Y'all so mad.
Hey, that'd be motivation. That's
Motivation.
motivation.
Let's fit it out.
hey, at least we get credit for motivating the man. Look, but
Right,
listen,
we
I'm
gonna
gonna keep it
get credit,
real.
OC.
Tyrone
look,
Church
I'ma
said he
keep
got
it
20
real.
on it.
Oh, that pot roaring now.
Oh, who?
Look, I'm gonna keep it real. All right, I'm gonna keep it real. The only reason why you might be right, man, on this, and
Yeah,
you
keep
may
it real.
end up being right. I still don't think you're gonna be right, but I'm saying you may end up being right, and I'm gonna be honest about it because we don't have a super strong strength of schedule, right?
Right.
And the other guy that they got to account for over there, everybody in the league is scared of this dude now. It's official. Like they come into the game, these tackles be playing their best game against Michael Parsons, man. They giving him his best game because they don't want to be on this highlight reel, and they trying to fight tooth and nail to keep this boy from getting a sack. So that's the reason why you might be right, man, because he is gonna get one-on-ones. And if he can win one-on-one, if he can capitalize one-on-one, he'll hit that number. But that all depends upon him capitalizing, and it also depends on him staying healthy.
The OC.
There's no emotions, no friends, no loyalty.
Straight business.
Straight business.
Put hashtag straight business in the chat.
I'm about to change that from straight business to straight sucker for taking that bet.
Okay, big bro.
Like I said,
You just made the case, dog. You made my case.
You know what's going to be crazy though? All the stuff that OC just said. OC just said that because we got Michael Parsons. You got a easier strength of schedule, and if he still don't do it, I don't want to hear Jack nothing about Tank Lawrence.
You won't.
No more.
Listen,
I don't want to hear about it no more.
You won't.
And
I
then
promise that too.
If he does it this year, I will shut up and say everything. I will shut my mouth about it, all that. But if he don't do it with all these good things in front of him, I don't want to hear nothing about him.
You won't. No more. I promise that.
Right.
I will say we got one more film session, bro. Big, can you handle just one more film session?
I got to get up off here.
Okay, all right. Cool.
I'll do the last. I'll do the last film session. I'll be out because I want to watch this.
Matter of fact, before you leave, give us at least your final word before you go.
All right, my final word will be this: going into this Rams game, Cowboys definitely can win this game. In my opinion, I think they should rest Dak one more game. People are like, yeah, he'd be rusty. Man, Dak is a professional. He's been doing this. He'll be okay. But I'd love to see if he's fully healthy to play in that Eagles game. That'd be a huge game to come back in. But the Cowboys can win this Rams game. Just keep doing what they're doing. Hopefully, Kellen Moore can get a little bit more creative in that run game, as you were saying, boss, like he did in that Giants game. If we can see kind of that Giants game plan happen against them Rams, I feel good about getting that dub out of there. That's my final word.
That's it.
The OC.
The film breakdown.
All right, so here we go, man. Let's take a look at the Cowboys, man, and finding holes in this defense. Look at CeeDee Lamb lined up at the bottom of the screen, man.
That's Noah.
And then I'm sorry, that's Noah Brown. My bad. I apologize. So he runs a drag crossing route, and that is a catch for a first down. So great job. And this is the part that Kellen has done pretty well. This tight bunch, lining him up inside, and then dragging him across the defense, and creating space for him to run and sit down in the zone and catch the ball and get upfield. So that part, giving Kellen more credit on that, was a good play call. All right. And so let's look at this at the top of the screen. Let's look at Michael Gallup. And, first game back, he's inside receiver there. And look at the stutter. And then he's dragging across the back of the end zone, keeps his feet in bounds. That's a touchdown. So, again, great athleticism. I mean, this is a mismatch versus a 2 or 3 wide receiver. He just does a really good job getting open. Cooper Rush does a really good job on this, just sliding his feet, right? He steps up, he slides his feet, slides and running, and then he makes a good throw on the run. Really good precision, really good ball leading Michael Gallup just the right amount right there. And then that's a touchdown. So, great job there.
I want to add one thing to it that I also like about this is that this is an athlete on a stiff, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is good recognition by Cooper Rush. The fact that whenever you see a wide receiver lined up or end up on a linebacker, you take that matchup. And I love how they was on the same page on this. Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to cut you off, OC, but that was one of the things also I picked up on this play that you sent, was that they targeted all day the linebackers. So we do beat up on Kellen Moore, but I do want to give credit to that as well, that Cooper Rush was very much so picking up the mismatches as they develop. And this was a developing mismatch because he ended up having to cover him because they did a late bracket to CeeDee Lamb. That's all I want to say, OC.
No, man, that's beautiful, beautiful breakdown and beautiful insight on that particular play. So, no,
And if
good job there.
you go back, he's running to his right, and then he still got to fit that ball in between the defenders on the opposite end. So he got to squeeze
play.
that ball, and that's the great throw by Cooper Rush. That is, it's hard to be moving to that side, drifting, and not allowing the ball to drift, and still not torquing your body to actually throw it backwards too far back. See how he didn't torque his body. So that's beautiful. That's just beautiful, man. That's arm talent.
Yeah, that's
right
beautiful
there,
football.
Yeah, it's beautiful football
by everybody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So fantastic job, right? And so looking at Dante Fowler inside here, and this is the part about him being disruptive, right? A lot of times, man, not getting the sack or not getting the recognition, but look at him inside. Look how fast he gets off the ball. He's upfield, the rip underneath, and he just gets drugged down. And so that was a real big call right there on that series where that play, just drove them back and really end up killing the drive. So look at Fowler on the inside here versus his guard. This is a mismatch. Look at that. Wins with the hands, gets to his hips, guy's leaning over his feet, and has no choice but to try to choke Dante Fowler and draws the holding penalty there. So that's some good work by Dante Fowler, and it was critical to draw that holding call on that particular drive to back them up and kill that drive. Now, so if you look at this, this is also another play, man, where you can kind of look at some things and you can kind of see, look here, look at the stick by CeeDee Lamb. That's a touchdown. I mean, beautiful stick to the outside, inside on the skinny post, man, touchdown. And so again, great awareness, right? Great awareness, and they motion him over, right? And this is Kellen Moore again too. I want to give him credit because they motion him over to line up in a favorable matchup, right? They understood the defensive set. They motion him up. He sticks to the outside, and that's just great footwork and by CeeDee Lamb being a great athlete, and that's a touchdown. So great recognition, great play call. That was the play, I think, that really sealed the deal for the Cowboys. And really, really fantastic throw by Cooper Rush. Calm in the pocket, standing tall, doing everything that he needs to do. He catches this football. He sets his feet. He lets it go, right? He's not looking at the rush. Notice he got some pressure on that, but he wasn't looking at the rush. Calm and cool as a cucumber, man. Cool as a cucumber. So he got a little bit of pressure at the top of that rush with Montez Sweat over the left tackle, getting bull rush. So he's getting bull rush back there. But he stands tall, makes a fantastic throw and catch, and then that's the ball game right there, man. That's it.
Real quick, I also want to break down something from a cornerback perspective because obviously that's the side that I'm pretty good eyes on. This is cover 4. And so with cover 4, what they was doing all day to CeeDee Lamb is they was doing brackets on him, which was opening it up for other guys. That's why Gallup was a good fit for this game as well as Noah Brown. But what happened on this cover 4, to be all the way honest, is this is a major lapse in judgment by that corner who's supposed to squeeze on this right now because there's no threats to his zone but CeeDee Lamb. So whenever it's like that, you treat it like man and you begin to even cut off the inside throw by leaning more inside to try to give him an outside throw. So CeeDee Lamb does stick him, but he's supposed to be on the inside already closing down that space, even at cover 4. And you can see this is a busted coverage because he lets him go to the safety.
Yep.
So basically they had, to me, when I look at it, I could see what they was doing. They was trying to bracket him even vertically downfield, and it was miscommunication from the corner and the safety.
That jab step got him, though, when you said stick him.
Well, yeah, he should have known to close that space, though. Yeah. I would still blame that corner because there's nobody else. And I played that position, and I know how it go from when it's cover 4 and it's 2 verticals coming at you, right? It's only one person that's in your zone, so you treat that like, man, that's a lapse in judgment, just being honest. You know what I mean? But, it looked like the stick created the space. It was more so the judgment of the corner. Because a good corner would have closed that down.
Man, that's a good observation from you, boss, and the OC. And especially, man, the play design itself. Cooper Rush being able to stand tall in that pocket to get that ball to that spot. It took a lot of cojones because, you're going to get hit and you got to stand tall in it.
All right, so now we do got obviously the Rams coming. All right. So I want to give a brief y'all thoughts on the Rams real quick. Just kind of go through that and then get into our final words. So obviously we got the Rams up here. OC, what's your first thoughts when it come down to the Rams? I'm pretty sure you watched them play the other day. What's your general thoughts on them?
I think they're a good football team, man. I think that, they got some weaknesses. I think that, it's beginning of the year. And I think that they're probably a team that's going to get better towards the end of the year. And I think that they got a good roster, good talent. And I think it'll be a competitive football game. I think that the Cowboys will definitely have to be more creative this game in the run game. And I think this is going to be the beginning of what I think is the real test for Cooper Rush. I think that he's going to have to make more plays for us to win this game versus some aggressive style corners, man. And so that this is going to be a test of Cooper Rush's mettle, so to speak. And the defense is going to have to play well and get a lot of pressure and try to create some turnovers for us to win this game on the road. That's what I think.
Lau, what's your thoughts on the Rams?
Physicality. You got to match their tone. They're going to be bullied. They're coming off of a loss, and they're going to be extremely hot about that loss that they just came off of. And I'm looking at if the Cowboys run the ball, and I know it sounds simple, but it's complex but yet simple. Run the ball. Don't try to force the passes because they are a momentum type of team. And what they're missing the Von Miller on their side, on the defensive side. They don't have that for this year. And Aaron Donald, he's going to do his thing, but they still need that dog over there. But they can get off. They got a Jalen Ramsey. And they have those boys on that side of the coin. But on the inverse side of what we can do from the momentum aspect from the defense, we need to hit them and make them one-dimensional. If you can get Matthew Stafford to throw the ball 35 to 40 times, it would be a greater chance for us to get interceptions, force turnovers, force fumbles, but we got to first stop the run. If we can do that, we'll win this game, and we'll dominate this game. It will be similar to what we've seen against the 49ers versus the Rams. It will be the same similar game.
And I think we having an identity problem right now. I think we still trying to figure it out. Like with Kellen Moore, I'm still feeling like there's a mutiny going on the play calling. So because of that, I think it's going to be the defense that's going to have to win this game. To me, this is going to have to be a game to where we have to get the ball. Right. I think we might even need to score on defense at least once.
Right.
Because I do agree with you all the way, Law. I think your point is perfect on the physicality. I think we got to come out and be physical, but I don't trust that we are right now. Not while we trying to figure it out. Not while Kellen Moore is joking and kikiing and laughing about wanting to pass the ball and how he was dying to abandon the running game. And he was dead serious. He wasn't joking. He was dead serious.
Earlier in your play calling career, were you as persistent with the run when you're kind of beating your head against the wall like that?
Everything inside of me wanted to throw the football the entire Sunday. So but you learn, you grow. I think it's just understanding there's different styles to every game.
I don't like that dude. I don't, bro. So until he really is bought in, because he's not bought in. He is just like what Mike McCarthy said, where you don't want to be that head coach that's forcing your OC to do what they don't believe in, because he said everything they put on their call sheet, they got to believe in it. That's exactly what Mike McCarthy said, philosophical, and he not bought in yet. So to me, it's going to be up to this defense, and we're going to need to basically protect the football with Cooper Rush. And I think if they come out, though, this is the one thing I say, if they stupid enough to play us like they play San Fran, we gonna beat them.
Yeah.
If they come out throwing like they did, trying to slang it around, I want them to. Yes. Yes, I want them to.
Now, Cooper Kupp, he's going to get his, though. That's one thing I'm going to let
Yeah.
people know. He's going to get
Say
his
that.
now.
Ooh-wee.
Cooper
Say it
Kupp
loud.
is going to get his. And
Yes.
there's nothing we can do about it. I promise you guys, the creativity of Sean McVay. He's going to sniff out. If it's LVE, he'll figure it out a way to line Cooper Kupp. I'm about to say Cooper Rush, but Cooper Rush. I got dog it. Cooper. They're going to line Cooper inside. They're going to motion him on the outside. They're going to get the favorable look, but you just got to make sure that you try to how as a DB, boss, how do you do it? How would you
What
do
you
it?
mean? What?
Would you
What's
bracket? How would you cover Cooper?
See, they run a lot of timing routes with him. I would run a lot of two-man. I would run two-man on him, and where I would try to be super physical at the line of scrimmage. And for those who don't understand, I know you know what I'm talking about, Law, but with two-man, that's where you have two safeties over top, and you allow the corners to be very physical because they trailing everything, but it's in man coverage. They giving you the vertical. To me, that would be one of the best ways to try to attack him because they use him like a glorified Dalton Schultz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they find a lot of open zones with him and spots with him. It's not just his ability to get open. It's the fact that he's very cerebral as a receiver as well, you know? So to me, you want to disrupt them by your pass rush time, by really trying to bully his chest on the line of scrimmage. I would be aggressive.
Yeah. Now, are you going to press him with Diggs, or are you going to play 7 yards off? What you going to do?
I like Diggs. I love Diggs, matter of fact, in terms of following him around. But I would want it to be a two-man with Diggs because a two-man coverage is perfect for Diggs because you don't curl by giving up the double move because you got help over top with the safeties.
So you're going to compromise
you can be
your
aggressive.
defense? Because do we travel? Do our defense travel?
He traveled before.
He traveled?
He traveled before, and they've done that. Like, they've been doing that against the Washington Commanders, and it's been working, putting Diggs on their best receivers, and every now and then they just let those guys cover who they go cover. But I do love the fact that Diggs should follow him because now you basically saying, Matthew Stafford, if you get one of these balls off, we got a guy that's going to take it. If one of your balls are off, targeting the guy that we know you're going to target, we got a guy that would take one of these or two. You know what I'm saying? So I like the strategy of what you just said. I love it.
And it will be Brown on Allen, right? Or Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I would take it. Because,
And who's going to cover Higbee?
Well, I trust everybody else on our secondary. I know our secondary not the problem. I mean, we got Bland that's playing good. We got a whole lot of people. Boss man not even getting no chance yet. We still got a deep secondary that I trust, and I trust that if they try to throw the ball, we got a pass rush that's gonna get after it. But this is something I got to keep it real on. That likely might get us. There could be a coaching advantage because see, you got Sean McVay. Remember when we walked into the playoffs, he was smart enough to do what? Run the ball.
Yep.
And he kept that ball on the ground when they was earning it out all year in 2018. But that game, he scouted us and knew that we was weak in the interior because we was injured going into the playoffs, and he attacked it. He's a very common sense coach. So with what Big Game James, in my opinion, came out with, kind of showing that we have an Achilles heel at the running game, they do have a coach that's going to know to go right at that, and that will change up. So, yes, they tried to attack San Fran out the air. They going to likely attack us on the ground. That's what I'm assuming because of the intelligence and common sense of that coach.
I'm more worried about the screen pass, man, because that been killing us too. So they use we've been over aggressive in some looks, and then they get a screen pass, get all upfield. Cam Akers no one to sneeze at, and Henderson. He got some wheels on him too.
Yeah, Cam Akers. But I like how we match up on that with if we get Curse back. He's a true tight end racer.
Well, Higby is a issue, man. If you don't watch out for him, he'll make some plays up that seam, and he'll hurt you. He's better than a lot of people give him credit for, man. So keep your eye on that this coming game, because if you got all your attention focused on Cup, man, you got to pay attention to Higby because he'll pop up and make some real good plays, man. He's a good player,
10 catches
Yeah,
and
and he has
73
length.
yards last
He
game.
has, he has length. Yes, he has length,
I trust Curse on
and he
that
got a really
matchup.
good hand.
I trust Curse on that matchup. I do. Even though Higby is, he nice. He nicer than what people
Higby
think.
nice.
He nicer
He
than what
nice.
people think.
He
But
nice,
I
man.
do. I think. I mean, Curse prides himself. Curse
I
prides
thought
himself.
Curse was going to be out for a minute, but he's going to be back this game.
He been leaking stuff out on Twitter that look like it. I hope so. We gonna see. But if we don't got Curse, yeah, he a prop because we don't have somebody that matches up well against him like Curse would. Even Dono, I don't trust Dono on him. No, because
Kamikaze,
he know how to play big boy ball. You know what I'm saying? He know how to play big boy ball. He know how to box you out. He know how to use all the tools. He got great body control for a tight end. You know what I mean? So to me, you got to have somebody that's just as big as him. That's my opinion. What's your thoughts on that, OC?
Yeah, man, I think that he's a guy that you can use almost as a receiver in a slot. And they have used him like that offensively on the line
Yeah,
of scrimmage and off the line of scrimmage. And so that's the issue. When you move him around and you get him on linebackers, man, he's going to win those matchups, man, especially you get him on LVE. Or as a matter of fact, any of our linebackers going to dragging underneath, he's going to win that matchup. And here's the issue inside of the 20, man, when you get him and you have a high point ball, you throw a high point
right.
football. He's go get up and catch that football and come down with it. So it's going to have to be quick pressure, and you're going to have to kind of confuse the coverages a little bit with Stanford. And Stanford will make mistakes. He will throw the ball away. So I think the key is going to be the coverages, mixing up your coverages, not being just obvious, and then also getting a lot of pressure on Matthew Stanford, man. You can get him to give up the ghost if you do it that way. But other than that, man, if you just let him come be back there cool, calm, collected, Stanford is of a veteran level where he can begin to pick you apart if he gets in a rhythm. And so
Yeah,
that's what you got to be careful of. You gotta rattle him. You got to shake him up. You got to make him uncomfortable.
that boy on pace for 24 interceptions.
He gonna give us at least one, man. And I know for sure one, that and a fumble. I mean, the dude is a high turnover machine, and I think that the pressure that we bring to the table, it will be enough for us because the running quarterback been giving us problems, right?
Yeah. That boy is 32nd. Yeah. There's some opportunities there.
There'll
There's some
be
opportunities for us. There's some opportunities there, man. But what's your final words? I'll start it off. So I'm super happy that we 3-1. Obviously, we are all spending a lot of time, trying to solve problems for the Dallas Cowboys. But when you think about it, even our worst problems are good, in my opinion, right? We now arguing over LVE versus giving these young linebackers a chance. That's a good problem. It's a good problem to be talking about Armstrong versus Fowler. It's even a good problem when we down to now trying to tell Kellen Moore, hey man, we glad you're running the ball, but we want you to run the ball smarter now. Because at least he running the ball. Right? So, like, at the end of the day, even though a lot of us spend a whole lot of time talking about ways that we can really cut the risk down of us not being championship ball ready, I still like where we are. I'm still happy that we 3-1. I'm so happy that the hardest part of the season is the front end and we getting ready to start going into calmer waters. We are going to likely face probably the toughest quarterback between him and Aaron Rodgers this year. Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers going to probably be the toughest quarterbacks that we face in this short little window going forward. And we go be and we are much better than pretty much everybody else we're facing on paper. And it's clear. That's the only reason why, to be all the way honest, Cooper Rush is able to have the success he's having, because these are major team wins and showing the talent of our team. So I'm happy about the Cowboys. Even though I critique them and know we can be better in some areas, I still am happy where we are and know we can get better. That's my final word.
Yeah, so in this game, the Cowboys have to remain calm and keep their composure going into a hostile type environment in LA. They are an away team and it's going to be a big game. So the Cowboys don't need to make a lot of mental errors. If we eliminate penalties and mental errors, that will be my message to the team, number one. Number two, it will be, hey, listen, take care of the football. Don't turn the football over. Whoever doesn't turn the football over in this game is going to win it, because I believe that it's going to be some opportunities for some takeaways going both sides. And if we take care of that football, I think we'll come up on the winning edge of this whole thing. And as it relates to getting pressure on Matthew Stafford, I feel like that it's like Thanos, man. It's inevitable. We're gonna get pressure on Matthew Stafford, and it's only so much they can do to keep him clean. And when we get that pressure, and when we apply the vice script on him, man, he's gonna begin to pop like a cherry. And hopefully later in the game, and I think he's gonna throw the ball away at least a couple times, man, and give us some turnovers. And I think that's gonna be the difference in this football game for the Cowboys. As long as we don't try to be cute and come out and spread. We do need the rushing attempts. Cooper Rush is going to have to make some plays for us, I believe, for us to win this game. But if we're able to do those few things, we're going to actually win this football game going away, man. It should be a good one on the road. That's my final word.
That's a great one. LA is home for us as well as our second home away from home. I think that we will have the fan engagement in the environment there. No shade at you, the OC. It's just the reality of it. It's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans out there. Say this for records right here, Cowboy Nation. The Dallas Cowboys have not allowed over 20 points, none this year. And ever since Cooper Rush been under center, we never allowed over 20 points as well. I truly believe that the defense can stay consistent like that. And if we can get to 21 points and still keep the Rams under 20 points, we will win. It's plain and simple. Create pressure, knock the ball around from Matthew Stafford, force him to throw in areas where he will give you the ball. And we got sticky enough DBs to do such. Even if it's Dayron Bland, if he get another interception this weekend, I'm going to go crazy, banana split crazy, because I think that he can do that. And given the opportunity, he's big, he's physical, he'll be my star player to look out for. Keep up this with the philosophy. We are 35-4 when we rush the ball for more or over 25 to 26 attempts. So if we do that since 2016, if we stick to the formula, don't get too cute. I know what you said, boss, that Kellen Moore, he wants to abandon it. It seems like he's so itchy right now to draw up 40 to 45 plays of throwing the ball, with like 45 attempts of throwing the ball, which we don't need. Let's introduce some of this powerhouse play, just like what Coach Marv said with the tight ends. Let's introduce this back to this team, and let's get back to running the ball on the outside, and let's not run right at Aaron Donald. Come on, man. You know how those boys are ready for that. And we got to play a chess match with Bobby Wagner, because he wanted to play with the star, so he's going to showcase to the world that, hey, the Cowboys made a horrible decision on not paying that money and paying it up for Dalton Schultz. So I'm quite sure it's about to be a good game. Let's figure it out, Cowboy Nation. That's my final word.
Let's get it, y'all.
Love this tunnel.
Oh, yeah, man.
We 3-1 with this tunnel, by the way.
Hey, yeah.
Let's go.
Whatever works, you know what I mean?
Shout out to everybody. Appreciate the mods. Thank those who donated.
Oh, I forgot to get to the super chat.
Yeah, we got a lot of super chats. Charge to my head, not my heart.
Straight up forgot. Sorry, y'all. I will get to it. Well, man, that's the final word.
Plan get us an interception.
Kind of check us on.
One of my super chats said, go ahead.
No, I'm going to say, you know what, boss? If my dog get 3 sacks, I'm going crazy, man. If Law get 3 sacks, I'm going crazy.
Man, my bag, I actually didn't hit the button, man.
I like this tunnel, man.
So y'all listen to it one more time, man.
You good.
But yeah, on this super chat, I at least want to read it. He said, rush success equals our coaches and opponents. DC play differently for rush versus Dak. Run outside the box.
I've been
Yeah.
really in the
That's the campaign for Kellen Moore. Run outside the box. That's it. That's it. Run outside the box. That's it. That's the one. That's what we saying now. When we want Kellen Moore to run outside the box. That's perfect. That's it.
I never knew why he was trying to do it with Holiday. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. Now run outside the box, man. Like, this our last campaign with Kellen Moore. Now we need Kellen Moore to be creative. And we gonna stay on that. You know what I mean? He need a run game coordinator. He learning on the job, but he still our fan. It's all good.
Yeah, hey, boss, I already know if you were TMZ, boss, or TMZ, you remember Jay Tuck showed you that? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Man, women would have been wrong with that. And I think that's the part of the psyche.
Search for the one, but baby girl, it's
Jerry
nothing
Jones.
real as this. Can't trust his soul, I keep
You already know what he wants.
Yeah.
I've been really in the field,
Yeah.
love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it
One
up.